Let me formally welcome you. I find comfort and solace because as a journalist, despite me being a police officer, as well, let me also welcome those monitoring via our social media handles. Welcome to this press briefing that has been much anticipated. Today, Inspector General of Police Gregory Koffa will present the findings of the investigation into the arson attack at the Liberian Capitol building. We recognize the gravity of this matter, so we appreciate your presence as we provide clarity and transparency on the developments. Without further delay, let me welcome to the podium our Inspector General, Honorable Dr. Gregory O.W. Koffa.
You can sit out. You can sit out.
Good evening to all. Sorry for the quality of my voice. There's a cold, but I'll try to be as audible as possible. I know this has been long anticipated, and we all have been waiting for this moment. And we're here to just give where we are, what our findings are, and share it on the basis of truth. My team, we've been fighting back and forth to keep me on script, so I will endeavor to agree with the team and remain scripted throughout this presentation. But it won't be our regular briefing because this will be a little more detailed than we would normally do in ordinary investigation because this is a high-profile case. It has a lot of sensitivity attached to it. It has a lot of political nature surrounding it. There's a lot of dis and misinformation that has already prejudiced it to an extent out there. So it's only in the best interest of the investigation and the general public that we share a little more information than we would normally do in these kind of cases. So we've been able to look at it and see as much as we are able to share just to show the level of transparency and everything that has been put into this investigation. So we'll start this by first and foremost acknowledging each and every one of you that are here and say thank you for coming.
Honorable, are you going to be audible?
Well, I am. My fellow Liberians, I must unequivocally assert that the current political climate of Liberia, no individual regardless of their status, influence, or affiliation is above the law. The arson attack on the Capitol Hill was not merely an act of vandalism. It was an affront to our democratic principles, an assault on the institution that sustained our republic, and a deliberate attempt to destabilize our hard-earned peace. The perpetrators of these heinous crimes have been charged, and Roe v. subsequently forwarded to court. This serves as a stern warning, not only to them, but to anyone who seeks to undermine public order, challenge our collective progress, and try to exploit impunity. The Republic of Liberia will hold you accountable, and justice will be served. As we proudly announce Liberia's induction as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council on June 4th, 2025, we do recognize the global responsibility that comes with this honor. To hold this obligation sacred, Liberia must now exercise maturity befitting its role on the world stage, maintaining peace and stability within our borders, and upholding the rule of law is no longer just a domestic concern. It is a paramount international obligation, and we do not take it lightly. The Liberia National Police is guided by law, driven by empirical evidence, and firmly rooted in constitutional mandate to safeguard lives, the right, and dignity of every Liberian. We're not instruments of political expediency, we're guardians of national stability. Our mandate is clear, and we strive to uphold it, impartially and in alignment with the security sector and stability pillars of the arrest agenda and the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. In collaboration with our national and international partners, we're enhancing public safety through many targeted initiatives. These include robust traffic enforcement, expanded community patrols, and proactive community awareness campaigns designed to prevent, detect, and investigate crimes. Our mission is to assure that all within our borders, citizens and residents alike, are kept safe, and to succeed, we need the continued cooperation of each and every one. Let me be clear. No one who violates the law of the Republic of Liberia will walk with impunity. The era of tolerance for lawlessness is over. Liberia will not flourish in the shadows of disorder and indiscipline. Accountability must prevail at every level of our society. This moment marks the beginning of a new chapter in which the Liberia National Police remains resolute in its duty. We will not be deterred by threats, will not be silenced by intimidation, will stand firm, defend the peace, and resolutely resist any foreign or domestic force seeking to derail the progress. Let us arise to the challenge. Let us build a Liberia that is safer, that is stronger, and more just for ourselves, and not just for ourselves, but for the future. On behalf of the Joint Security, I extend sincere thanks and appreciation to the general public for the cooperation that we have received with this high-profile arson investigation. We deeply value our cordial relationship, and we do not take the trust lightly. The Joint Security and the communities we serve, we look forward to strengthening this partnership for the good of each and every one in this country. Today, as we climax this high-profile arson investigation, which involves the willful destruction of public property and the endangerment of our nation's security by individuals who abuse their access and positions, we're pleased to provide the public with a transparent, evidence-based account of what actually transpired. And that is why, like I said earlier, this is not a regular case. So we will endeavor to go a little further and tell you as much as we can. So history of the case, to give you timeline, background of some of these events that led to this particular issue. In October 2024, tension ensued amongst members of the House of Representatives over efforts to remove a former House Speaker, Honorable Jonathan Koffa. And these disputes intensified over time, requiring law enforcement intervention. November 8, 2024, Thomas Isaac Etheridge, staff of former Speaker, and Patrick Moore seized the keys of the Deputy Chief Clerk office, indicating signs of sabotage. November 10, 2024, the joint chambers were vandalized, chairs were destroyed, electronics destroyed, wires damaged, and making it completely incapacitated. November 11, the Liberia National Police began an investigation. The Capitol Building Security Director, Mr. Bala Coleman, and others were invited to police for questioning. These were some of the things these are some of the initial things that we did to start this investigation. I'm just laying it out so that you can understand, the steps that we've taken our intervention into this issue. And I know there were a lot of back and forth as to what police was doing there, what was police role and stuff. Strictly law enforcement. We had no fish to fry into whatever else was there. When the law is being violated, we step in and we make sure we enforce it. On December 10, 2024, the police investigation did establish that suspect Kivi Pa, alias Kaba, and Joan Yanti attempted to ignite fire on a circuit breaker panel on the second floor using gasoline. This was an act. This act was a precursor to the larger plan to destroy the entire Capitol building. We started to follow the escalation. Most of you who are journalists who have been assigned in those areas, you saw on a daily basis, week by week, there was a steady escalation in the violence at the Capitol. Every week it was another thing, it was another thing. So all we had to do as law enforcers, just to make sure we go there, play our part, keep everybody safe, and get the day by. We go up to December 17th, and December 17th was the day of the protest. On the protest, there were acts of violence. People refused to take law enforcement orders, they refused to disperse. On that day, one of our officers, Sergeant Amorability, was mercilessly beaten and left for dead because they left him knowing that they had killed him. We were able to gather sufficient evidence indicating that they had believed that he was dead before they left him. So if he hadn't reached to a place where he seemed to have been incapacitated and could not even breathe, they would have continued the assault on him. Not only that did they do that, but they also took away his service weapon. And on that same day, in the same area, there was a meeting that took place in Jalatan where the conspirators finalized the arson plan, and funds were distributed allegedly linked to Representative Dixon W. Siebel of District 16, Monserrado County. Phone conversations, subpoenas revealed that suspects were planning to use gasoline to set ablaze vehicles belonging to legislators. So all of these things, over time, they were collected. I mean, we made sure that we analyzed them properly before coming to this day. And I know a lot of people being impatient, a lot of people being wanting to see this thing just happen. Sometimes in investigation, law enforcement can get lucky. This is one of those cases. The lines just fell in pleasant places and the evidence connected itself electronically, scientifically, and we were able to gather and build a strong case. I am super proud of the joint security effort leading to where we are with this investigation. I've been here for a couple of years. I've seen investigation back and forth. I've seen cases sent to court. I've seen how we struggle sometimes to get cases through. This is one time that I am 100% super proud of the capabilities of the joint security. They say there's unity, there's the strength in unity. The unity of the joint security has led us today to these successes that we now have. And as we go on, we'll continue to give you play by play on all of these different issues. So I would like to move on to the day of the arson itself and give you a chronology of all of the happenings. On December 18, which was the day of the attack, by 5:40 a.m., Mr. James Waller, the custodian of the key, opens the building. By 6 to 6:30, the suspects smuggle gasoline into the building, go up on the third and fourth floor, pour the gasoline, and set the place ablaze. When that happened, that blaze caused the destruction of the joint chambers, the dome, and the entire facility in that particular section of the Capitol building was totally destroyed. We went in, looked at it, and made sure that we secured it properly. But this issue is one that is very sentimental to anybody who loves this country. Anybody who should be leading this country should be concerned about this particular issue. I liken this occurrence to 1980, major assault on our democracy. 1990, 2003. Nobody has answered for anything in this country. Hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives for similar issues, even though nobody died here. But this symbol is the one thing that gave each and every one of us the legitimacy to be able for the Liberian people, to give them some feedback as to what happened to that in for questioning. We move on to the suspect's confession and the motive. During the questioning, multiple suspects made professional statements linking themselves to the planning and execution of this arson attack. Notably, Mr. Thomas Etheridge, he admitted to coordinating logistics for the fire, assigning individuals to specific areas of the Capitol building to ensure that maximum damage was done. This was not no ordinary stuff that just happened. They burned it. Eric Susse was intercepted phone call, review his intent to acquire gasoline and coordinate attack on lawmakers' vehicles. And this particular one confirmed premeditated plan. These actions were not spontaneous, they were acts of vandalism, but they were all part of the larger plan to disrupt legislative function, to destroy critical government infrastructure, and to destabilize our peace. The motive is established. The statement and digital evidence was rooted in politics, the frustration, but it's an intent to sabotage legislative operations during this critical moment. We are when you look at it, going back to the chronology of things, it started at the breakaway of some lawmakers. They're going their own way. They've been denied access of a space to sit, to conduct business in the Capitol. So if you follow the trend, even though it started on that basis, if you are continuing it using your internal wranglings, it's a whole different thing. Law enforcement will never get involved. But when it reaches to the point where crime is committed, where vandalism happens, people get assaulted, people get pepper sprayed, you got people vandalizing stuff, breaking doors, attempting to burn the building, finally burning it. Law enforcement must come in. That's what that police knows in the matter today. We go looking for anybody. This is nothing personal. This is nothing political. This is a separate act. A political issue you deal with on your politics side. The law enforcement issue I will deal with. My team here, we work on this case along with joint security. We are going to make sure that the Liberian people answer. The joint security, we have come together, we have brought our strength, our resources, we've put everything into investigating this matter to answer. At our side, the politics, we got nothing to do with it. Contrary to what people think, what people believe, we are not a political institution. Nothing. As a result of this attack, the Liberian government suffered losses amounting to $8,672,653.60 due to the damage on that particular structure. With everything that happened in between there. Taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money. In your anger, you don't do that. You don't do that. We're responsible to answer to the people. We're responsible. And that answer is given today. The action is clear. So we move on to the integrity of the investigation to see some of the steps, the things that police did from the time we got involved. From the onset of the attack, the Liberia National Police acted swiftly. We made sure we secured the crime scene. We then initiated a coordinated response. The fire service was mobilized, they came in, they controlled the fire. The forensic team went in, they began the assessment of the damage. We started to collect pieces of evidence. The investigation was conducted through securing and reviewing CCTV footage, communication records. We gather witness testimonies from the Capitol building staff, from police officers, from community members. Coordinated effort with internal and external security institutions. There was a proper chain of custody, documenting all physical and digital evidence that was collected. We made sure that we followed everything to the letter, dotting our I's and crossing our T's. We ensured transparency and procedural integrity throughout the investigation. Contrary to what people have, the disinformation have led about the issue of torture and abuse of people's rights, I can stand on this podium today to tell you that absolutely no one walk in this building under our leadership would ever go through the issue of torture. Torture are the things of the past. This new police, we're here to build on the rule of law. We're here to build on human rights and dignity. But we stand very firm on it. I am uprightly dismissing all of the allegations of torture as far as this investigation is concerned. The suspects were processed in line with legal standards and afforded their rights by law. We made sure their rights to counsel during the interrogation, and everything was well noted. So basically, all of these issues have been we've been dealing with them, and we made sure that everything was done properly, just to ensure that the Liberian people get what they paid for. And the chain of custody issue that I spoke about is something that we were very concerned about it. Like I said, the time we took on this investigation was because all of this issue back and forth, we had to clear this. This is not one of those things where you go and try to fabricate evidence. This is the work of good evidence and good evidence only. So we had to scrutinize every last piece. January 6th happened, the people still investigating it up to now. And I can tell you they have so much more resources than we would ever have probably in our lifetime. But we've been able to make sure that we deliver at least within the earliest possible time, so that the Liberian people can understand that we don't take this issue lightly. So we'll move on to some of the suspects that have been arrested. We have gone to the extent of giving them all of their due rights, and ensuring that all of the privileges that the law provides for are being accorded them. Even those who are in prison, which we cannot speak about, we've made sure that while they were in our custody, we were able to protect them. Whenever somebody made any claims or counterclaims, we made sure we brought medical attention. We even had to take suspect to not just any ordinary place, the AMI center right here, which the police can't afford, but yes, because of the same blaming back and forth, we made a sacrifice, and the doctors there with the medical report did dispel every last one of the claims that were made regarding the whole issue of torture. So we have some, at this point in time, we have those who are charged and are already behind bars. So we'll just recap their names. We're going to have all of this information printed and shared with you all. Detailed information listing the charges, the different sections from the penal code, just so you can have for your own text and for reference for your reporting purposes. For those who are charged right now and behind bars, we have Mr. Thomas Isaac Etheridge, who was an employee of the Capitol Building, Chief of Maintenance, Office of the Representative Honorable Jonathan Koffa. He was involved in damaging the chambers on November 10th and subsequently burning it on December 18, 2024. He's been charged with the following crimes under the revised penal code of Liberia: arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, criminal conspiracy, and release of destructive forces. Mr. Etheridge was forwarded to court and is currently detained at the Monrovia Central Prison. We have suspect Eric Suse. He participated in the December 17 riot and the December 18 arson attack. He stole a police firearm, physically assaulted the police officer, and he's charged with the following under the revised penal code of Liberia: arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, like I mentioned, with a police officer, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy, rioting, failure to disperse, theft of property, and aggravated assault. So those are his charges. He used to be forwarded to court, and he's now in detention at the Central Prison. Then we come to suspect Stephen Broad. Stephen Broad was an employee of the Capitol building. He was assigned to the maintenance department. He also participated in the December 18 attack, and he's charged with the following as well: arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy. Excuse me. Then we have suspect Jerry Poker, alias Tyrese, resident of New Creektown, involved in the planning and execution of December 18 attack. And he's charged with the following: under the revised penal code, arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering of another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy. Kivi Ba alias Kaba, resident of New Creektown, attempted arson on December 10 and participated in the main attack on December 18. Charged with the following under the revised penal code of Liberia: arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy. Then we have John Yanati, charged with the following under the revised penal code: arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person. Let me note, John Yanati was charged in absentia because he fled the country before law enforcement could get to him. Reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy. Further investigative efforts uncover compelling evidence linking several high-profile individuals to the orchestration and financing of the arson attack, which happened on the Capitol. Specifically, Honorable Jonathan Fonati Koffa, Honorable Dixon Sibo, Honorable Abu Kamara, and Honorable Jacob C. Debbie. They played significant roles in facilitating and supporting the criminal acts executed by the previously charged suspects. Honorable Koffa, former Speaker of the House of Representatives, used his official office and staff, particularly his Chief of Maintenance, Thomas Etheridge, to coordinate sabotage efforts from as early as November 2024. Etheridge, who has been charged, worked directly with Honorable Koffa's office and cited instructions from high authorities in his coordination efforts. He also rated his connections and over in our collection referenced by his authority, from above, order from above, order from the chief, back and forth in all of his coordination. Our Koffa's role is being his role in this issue is being investigated under charges of criminal conspiracy due to credible links suggesting that he was strategically involved in orchestrating the broader plan to obstruct legislative process and damage the national infrastructure. Charged with the following, as such, he has been charged with the following under the revised penal code: arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy. Honorable Abu Kamar, District 15, Montserrado County, and Honorable Jacob C. Debbie, District 3, Grand Jeddah County, were reportedly present at multiple planning meetings and facilitated logistical support, including coordination with actors inside and outside of the Capitol building. Their involvement underscores a deeper level of political motivation and conspiracy behind what was initially perceived as an isolated act of vandalism. The both are hereby charged under the revised Penal Code of Liberia with arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy. Honorable Dixon W. Siebel, District 16, Montserrado County, was identified through financial transactions and witness testimony as a key financier. Funds originating from his office were allegedly dispersed to conspirators during a clandestine meeting in Jalatan, December 17, one day before the main attack. He also facilitated the escape and provided protection for key suspects linked to the investigation. As such, Honorable Sibo is charged with the following under the revised penal code of the Republic of Liberia: arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy. These individuals, though holding or having held positions of influence, are not exempt from accountability. The Liberia National Police is finalizing additional legal instruments to ensure that all persons, regardless of status, are subject to law and brought before the court where the evidence exists. Listen, let the jury decide. You can think whatever you want to think, you can believe whatever you want to believe. There's remarkable work here, there's hard evidence. We're sending one of the strongest cases that Joint Security have ever built to court, and we'll let the jury decide. Honorable Priscilla Cooper of District Number 5, Montserrado County, has been charged under the revised penal code with a criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and conspiracy. Criminal facilitation and conspiracy, sorry. We also have charged in absentia Ms. Grace Johnson, who was the Chief of Staff, Chief of Protocol of Honorable Koffa's office and Patience Bestman, Chief of Office Staff of Honorable Koffa's office as well, and Amos Koffa, the elevator technician within the maintenance department of the Capitol building, are all charged with the following under the revised penal code of Liberia: arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangering another person, criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy. The destruction of the Capitol building's joint chambers represent a direct assault on the foundation of our democracy and governance. Some of the suspects identified are being held at the Memorial Central Prison awaiting trial. The prosecution will proceed with the full adherence to due process. We call on the citizens to remain calm, peaceful, vigilant, and support the national efforts as the charges of these suspects does not end the investigation, as suspects have still been identified, and as new evidence come about, new leads, other witnesses, other suspects who be identified in the case. Let this serve as a clear message. The Liberia National Police would not tolerate any act that threatens public safety or the integrity of the national institutions of this country. This country is a nation of law, and I think the famous saying around these times has been, the law is the law. I want to thank you all, and thank the Liberian people for the patience, for the support that they've given us in so many different ways, because we receive a lot of help from people throughout this investigation. And it just shows how much this particular incident meant to a lot of people. It shows that patriotism is being restored. It shows that the respect of the democracy upon which this very rule of law is built is being strengthened on a daily basis. I want to thank you. And I want to remind you that it doesn't end here. It goes to the court, and let the jury decide. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, this was actually exhaustive, and we can take like at most 4 questions. Yeah, at most 4 questions. So we'll take it from the Liberian investigator.
Yeah, so my name is Blamoto. I'm a profile Liberian investigator. Ajay, thank you so much. I just want to know the whereabouts of Councillor Koffa and all of the colleagues, and what action the public expect from the Liberia National Police.
Okay, thank you. Excellent question. So we invited 7 lawmakers here this morning, namely Councillor Koffa, Honorable Sibo, Honorable Debbie, Honorable Abu Kamara, Honorable Marvin Cole, and that of Honorable Frank Safoko. If you follow the trend of things in these investigations, I mean, in the occurrence, the daily escalation and of aggression at the Capitol, you will notice that, I mean, some of these names are in your recordings back and forth at different days, different point in time. To show you the impartiality of this investigation, today, after carefully reviewing all of the pieces of evidence, I mean, people were calling me and saying, oh, I know this person will be charged, I know that person will be charged. No one business to answer your call. Their thoughts were, because these people were associated in a way that cameras captured them, it meant that they were directly connected. But today, we exonerated because as of yet, there's no sufficient evidence to connect Honorable Marvin Cole and that of Honorable Frank Safoko. They were released, they're free men, they can go back and continue their legislative function. The rest of the other people have been charged, and they're being held in detention here at the Liberia National Police headquarters.
What's the Garcia with BBC?
Good evening, IG. 2 questions quickly. When do we expect those charged not in court to appear before the judge? The next one has to do with you keep stressing that we have strong evidence. How strong?
Very strong. Very strong. Very strong. And we intend to get them before the judge within as soon as possible time. As soon as possible time. One thing I can guarantee you, we will not exceed the mathematical calculation for legal detention here. Thank you.
Are we saying that they're going to remain in pre-trial detention here?
They're not in pre-trial detention here.
You have 2 questions to ask, and please give your colleagues. So we take you.
The court say you to solve you in pre-trial detention here, right? Pre-trial detention.
Identify yourself and ask your question. One more question, please.
I mean, besides witness testimony, leading those lawmakers, were you want to get call law?
Yes, Webster. We everything that was possible within the confines of the law to do, as far as investigative bounds are concerned, we did. We acquired subpoenas from the court. We prayed for core laws. We prayed for metadata. We did analysis. We did analysis of the metadata We did geospatial location, positioning, putting people at different places at different point in time, who was where at this point in time when this call was made, how many persons we got. So we got all of them numbers. We got the numbers, we started putting it together. So, okay, 5 persons. Okay, what 5 we are doing in a particular area only at a particular point in time. And we look at it, started connecting dots from there. So, yes, we did that.
So the last but not the least, Lina.
Thank you. My name is Steven Rawas and I work for Liberia News Agency. Through our investigation, looking at the point as to where the incident actually took place, at what time the incident took place, were you able to find out, or did they actually tell you the major cause or the major reason as to why all of those involved into this allegation were able to get involved into this crime that was committed?
Well, you have to ask them when they're done with the after they get acquitted or after their sentencing. That would be a question for them. I didn't want to get personal, so the team that was doing the investigation was left alone. They acted independently. All I will receive is what they bring to me, and we sit and we all analyze it together. So those details and stuff, the investigative team, the people who spoke directly to them, I wouldn't leave my office and go talk to the suspect. The team did that. But I mean, that's a personal question that we always ask them at some point in time.
Chief, let me squeeze in Fabian Quia.
Please.
Yes, my name is Fabian.
You can squeeze in 2 more.
Okay.
My name is Fabian and I report for LBS. My question has to do. My question has to do with the detention of the individuals I just mentioned. How soon do we expect them to be forwarded to court? And another thing is that, don't you think by having them in jail over the weekend, their lawyers will prefer a habeas corpus?
It's the rights of the lawyers to do so. I mean, these are the legal instruments that the police, I mean, that the law provides for. But I mean, they are right here in plain view. You're not hidden. If we had it in some cell that nobody knew where to find them or something, I mean, the lawyer would be concerned and run to the judge. But I mean, the law also provides a time frame for which the police can keep a suspect here. And like I said, it's a promise to you all. They won't go 1 minute beyond the mathematical calculation for legal detention. So, the issue of release is that of the Constitution provides for that, but that has to be a whole different assessment on to make that discretionary authority, to use that discretionary authority. I have to be advised by the team as to all of the elements that will support that. For now, I haven't gotten any piece of advice. I haven't even seen the detention note yet, but I know that you're here.
Okay, let me take you. Then you come in last, please.
Okay, my name is Carmen Lomo, and I just want to make a follow-up. Hearing from the house's mouth, what did you hear from those accused?
And I know. I'll do nothing. Okay, yeah.
It's
I also heard that I don't have evidence as well. I also heard that this is political, so there's a lot of things that have been coming already. But like I said, let the jury decide. Thank you.
okay. Thank you.